My name is Lungiswa Joe. I'm from Megdebeka originally, but I'm now based in Cape Town. And what I do currently, I'm exploring with clay. Funny enough, it was meant to be a hobby. So I did classes at a studio and I just fell in love. I feel like clay just got hold of me. I am Xhosa, Tatam is Xhosa. And then my grandmother is of Khoi descent. So I wanted to reclaim a sense of who I am, of my lineage. So the work represents that. So I remember stories with Umakul and her explaining how her people how you look like, basically. But I was very young, so I couldn't ask a lot of questions. I was just listening. So right now, it's me kind of digging deep to find that voice, basically, for me to remember those stories. But also because I'm not forgetting that part of who I am. I think sometimes we tend to forget that the Khoi were the first people of Southern Africa. And then some of our languages, especially Xhosa, are borrowed from some of the cliques. So with the work, I wanted to kind of go in there and just remember, but also showing it in a unique way. I created Ngai right here. And then with the same Ngai, which is used in our tradition when we're celebrating traditional works and umqombothi. I created caves. Within those caves, like with rock art, so I created a bit of works there. So, and then with the dots, because when we do the dots, but also you can find some of the dots within the Khoi. So I was like, why don't I actually also, in a way, bring that within the work? But also now the dots, I refer to them as the stars. With my grandmother, part of our tradition was her sharing tea with me. Like she would do her tea and then she'd leave me behind. And I decided to make teacups, like tea bowls, which reminded me of her. And then within that, I was kind of creating with clay patterns of umhlaba, like zilali in a way. So it's also remembering that the Khoi hunters and gatherers, they moved. So in the work, I'm also putting that information or that story in it. So when I was looking for a space, first thing you think town, and then you forget about actually you could move into our own townships and look for a space and how vibrant our townships are. So I found a space Kwalanga, which has been quite an exciting journey for me because that also, in a way, without me thinking about it, influenced how I create, basically. Ulanga also reminded me of home where I grew up in. Because when I'm walking, you cannot walk without having to greet. It's more a sense of, I see you. I love that you have to greet when you're walking. So, and the sense of community. I have a passion for young people, and I feel like what I'm doing could be one of the ways of giving back to them and showing them that with our hands we can create beautiful things, in return can make a living. I think that motivates me, the fact that I'm able to share what I am doing with somebody else, and I don't need anything else besides having to use clay in our hands to create something. So my process when I start working, sometimes I have an idea of what I want to create. And sometimes I come in clear, I have no idea, my hands just want to touch clay. So I allow myself to move with how the clay wants me to move. What I would do when I get to the studio, normally I just come in, I kind of like light up the candles, and I'll put a bit of essential oils just to set the mood so that I'm calmer within the space. But one thing I know is I never attach myself to what I want to create because it's a relationship between me and the clay. So I allow the clay to also play its part. Sometimes the clay doesn't want me to touch it. Sometimes I feel like I want to come in, make something, and the clay is refusing. It's like saying, today, me and you are not in a good clay space. So I leave it, I listen, and today, if it's not working out, it's not me in the clay. It's a listening, it's a different listening. It's a listening with, not just with your ears, it's a listening with your veins, with your hands, with your entire body, with your entire senses. Just be open, explore. Allow your hands to take you where they want to take you, and allow the process to there's a memory that comes back. And I think what I've learned about it is I needed to open up, because it seems like you evoke something when you work with clay, and clay itself is a teacher. And if they want to work with clay, is to be open to the teachings that the clay will teach them. We tap into self and we bring it out. And even with me, when I'm working with the clay, it always feels like there is someone back in my lineage that knew how to work with it. So it's coming. That's why I'm so natural with my hands to form it and work with it. So.